about a week till the Alberta election. It's quite a close race. The NDP had a great debate performance under their leader, Rachel Notley. Brian Jean is the new leader of the Wildrose party. Of course, Danielle Smith, their old leader, quit and defected to the Progressive Conservatives just before Christmas. And Jim Prentice is just flailing in all directions. But don't count the PCs out. They've been in power for 44 years for a reason. But Danielle Smith herself, who caused so much consternation, dissolved the official opposition, really, and betrayed so many hundreds of thousands of true conservatives. She lost her own nomination in Highwood riding. That is, she defected from the Wildrose to the PCs, but the PCs didn't want her, and so this is her final few days as an MLA. Now, I think that Danielle Smith is a disgrace, and I say that as someone who was her friend for 20 years. It was a sheer move of political opportunism. She was sick of the hard work of opposition, even though she'd only been opposition leader for a few years. And instead of quitting and saying, I'm tired, she quit and tried to destroy the entire opposition with her in the dead of night, without consulting the party members, without a public vote of her members. She just said, I'm throwing in the towel and going to the very party I had criticized for many years. It was disgraceful. But here's my point. She has not even been in the wilderness yet. She has not even been in exile politically yet, and she is trying to rebrand herself, rebirth herself as some sort of thoughtful public opinion talker, advisor, even though she is the great betrayer who has put Alberta in such political jeopardy, who has given us a budget with more than 50 tax hikes. And I say that because had she stayed with the strong Wildrose opposition, of course, the Conservatives would never have brought forward such an awful left-wing budget, and the Conservatives and the Wildrose would not be so disreputable now for their undemocratic secret deal. But let me show you what Danielle Smith is saying. This is why I'm so frustrated by her audacity. Let's go through 5 Twitter tweets that she's published in the last few days. This first one is, she was responding to a reader, and she said, if we had meaningful roles for individual MLAs in all parties, you'd probably see less floor crossing. Excuse me? Now, she was a party leader, and she's saying, if we had meaningful roles for MLAs of all parties, hang on, sister, you were in charge of meaningful roles for MLAs in your party, and you're blaming some ethereal person or system. You were the boss. And we would probably have less floor crossings if you crossed the floor. Are you saying you crossed the floor out of impotence? What a bizarre, ahistorical lie. How can you call that anything other than a lie? She did not cross the floor because she did not have a meaningful role. What a bizarre attempt to rewrite history. Here's another tweet she wrote. She said, I said Conservatives needed to reunite because we'd be in trouble if Progressives united first. And we are. Yeah, no. The reason why the Conservatives are in trouble in Alberta is because they brought in an extremely big government, big tax, big spend, big borrow budget, more than 50 tax hikes. And the only reason they could do that is because Danielle Smith gave them her permission, agreed to fold her tent in advance. She already united with the Conservatives, gave them a supermajority, and in return got the worst budget in Alberta history when measured by deficits or tax take. So she's saying that the surge of the NDP could have been stopped if she defected? You already defected. That's one large reason the NDP are surging, because the Progressive Conservatives have an awful unconservative budget, and the whole political class is made disreputable and undemocratic. In Western Canada, New Democrats often get votes from Reform Party-style switchers who believe in the little guy and democracy. Why would you vote for Jim Prentice after that democratic dissolution that he did with the opposition? Here's another tweet by Danielle Smith. No, I tried to unite Conservatives, just pointing out the Progressives are trying to do the same. No, you didn't unite Conservatives, Danielle. You were an opportunist who went to the PCs, allowed them to move further left and bring in the most unconservative budget in Alberta history. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to revise history so quickly. And here's the last tweet by Danielle Smith. Personally, I'd like to see a PC Wildrose Party coalition government. No, actually, Danielle, you wouldn't, because if you would have wanted that, you could have negotiated that. You could have stayed as the Wildrose leader and had some sort of negotiation, contract, treaty, terms, whatever, with the PCs. You could have done that as the leader of an independent party. And frankly, there may have been some reason or cause to do so. You would have had to have debate in your caucus, probably a vote amongst your members, but you actually didn't try to form a PC Wildrose coalition at all. In the dead of night, without notice or consent of anyone, you quit the Wildrose Party and joined the PC Party. That is not a coalition. That is a surrender. Danielle Smith is morally, intellectually, politically, and ideologically bankrupt. I believe in second chances for everyone, but usually that involves some time in exile or the political wilderness. She hasn't even stopped cashing her MLA paychecks, and she's already trying to reposition herself as some thoughtful commentator on the right, I presume. Now, Danielle, I think it's best you take a bit of a break. For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.